Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. This is the instant match reaction after Newcastle have struggled to break the deadlock at Selhurst Park. It ended goalless in South London, a frustrating afternoon for the Toon Army really. I mean, for me, that's 2 points dropped. Honestly it is, that's 2 points dropped. I look at Palace, they are shite. We should be beating Palace every day of the week. And honestly, I don't know how we haven't scored. I don't know how we haven't ended up managing to score tonight. You know, we dominated the game, 60-70% possession, especially in the first half. Loads of shots on target compared to Palace. I think had one or two. You know, Pope did have to make an outstanding save from Mateta. That was an unreal stop, and Southgate in the stands was watching. Well done, Southgate. What nice one, Gareth. That's why he should have been the number one at the World Cup. But anyways, we're not in England right now. We're going to continue talking about Newcastle and frustrating. Like I said, you know, struggling in the final third to find that cutting edge, getting into so many dangerous areas, getting in behind, especially Willock on the left-hand side in the first half was fantastic. Him and Jolinton swapping were causing the defenders a nightmare. They were getting in behind, causing problems. The final pass, I lost count of how many corners we've had. Corner after corner after corner. Headers over the bar, headers wide from the likes of Sven Botman. Should have broken the deadlock. Wilson hits one straight at the keeper. Isak comes off the bench and hits one straight at the keeper. We just didn't do enough. You know what I mean? Like I say, perfect in the build-up. Some nice fluid football. Breaking the back line of Palace. We're there. We're looking for the runners. Palace, to be fair, defended well, cleared well. But we just didn't do enough. We should have broken that deadlock. Lacking that little bit of creativity. That is why I'm telling you we need like a James Maddison. We really do, because Isak was the answer last week against Fulham when we're having the same problem. We probably played even better today and still couldn't get the goal. Still couldn't find that missing piece. And I think we need someone like a Maddison to come on, unlock a defence really and find that, set it up literally on the plate, because we're getting close to the plate, but the plate's still getting washed. Do you know what I mean? There's some analogy we had there. We cannot get that final pass to the final man where Wilson's not quite getting in front of his defender and getting the shot away. Like, honestly, the build-up play was good. There was some nice passing, but again, it's just annoying in the final third there that we can't seem to test the keeper enough. You know, like I said, we've had a couple of brilliant chances from headers, Wilson and Isak and others. You know, Jolinton's had a shot straight down the mouth of the goalkeeper, straight at the keeper. Not testing Gator enough, not doing enough. Because I look at Palace, honestly, I do think they're a poor side. I really do. I think they don't offer much going forward. Zaha went off injured. He was diving. They were cheating. You know, the referee. It should have been 2 yellows for Gay. You know, if that's what does my head in about this referee and about football, is when they bottle the big decisions like that. He's completely bottled it. He's gave Gay a yellow card early on. The second one's a clear and obvious foul. He doesn't give it because he's thinking, oh fuck, I've already booked him. I can't really be honest with the drama and the second yellow, sending someone off. Everyone's going to be talking about it, the talking points. He didn't want it. Completely hid away from it. That's a second yellow card. Palace should be down to 10 men, and that could have been the difference, because then there is a bit more space in the box perhaps. Palace should have been down to 10 men, and it wasn't given. And so often throughout that game, the referee couldn't find his cards at all throughout that game. He should have been way more yellow cards. There was some dirty tactics by Palace. Now, Jolinton got into a bit of a scuffle late on with Elise, where, to be fair, Joe was a bit to blame for that, can't lie, but that's the way the game was boiling out and petering out, and even with 4 minutes at a time, and Isak coming off the bench, St. Maximin coming off the bench, both just couldn't do it either. Like I said, Isak did it last week against Fulham, couldn't do it today. He has a golden opportunity, heads it, doesn't get enough power on the header, into Gator. Maxi's trying to take people on, he wins a couple of corners. I just felt there was just one too many touches today as well in the final third. You know, a bit sharper with the play, a bit more aggressive in the play. Palace were there for the taking. Yes, they got a good draw the other night against Man United, but they've been on a poor run of form. I think it was 3 losses in a row before that. I don't think they're a very good side. We should have won. I mean, that being said, look, at this time last year, we came away from, well, it was October last year, Graham Jones was in charge. We came away from Selhurst Park buzzing with a point, and now we're coming away frustrated with a point. And that shows the levels now. That shows how much we've kicked on in a short time. And we have kicked on in the league still. Our goal difference sees us into 3rd place ahead of Manchester United, who can overtake us if they manage to get something at the Emirates tomorrow against top of the table Arsenal. But look, at the unbeaten run continues. We haven't conceded a first half goal since August, since Ruben Neves away to Wolves. And obviously we haven't lost since Liverpool. When was that, September or something? Good few months since that. So that's big. 6 clean sheets in a row for Nick Pope. Mentioned his brilliant save earlier. So obviously there's loads of positives. Bruno was back today, an unlikely starter. Did well. I think again he could have done a couple of better plays, but did good enough, and great to see him back. And you know, he ended up playing the full 90 ahead of what is a massive game on Tuesday. So we're third in the league. The unbeaten run continues. 6 clean sheets in a row for Pope in a semi-final on Tuesday. Look, it's still brilliant. I just feel like we're setting levels now, and not to get carried away or expect so much so soon. But you look at Palace and you just think, man, if you want to finish in the top 4, top 6, and I know Man United drew there the other night as well, that was a last minute screamer, you just need to be scoring those goals, you need to be taking those opportunities a bit more, taking the chances, getting 3 points on the board and moving on. Again, even you just get that 1-0, like we did last week against Fulham. Doesn't have to be too pretty, you just hope that we can nick a goal, and we deserve the goal. Like I say, we did play well tonight, we did dominate the game, but just that final third, just that little bit of lack of cutting edge. And without Chris Wood now, not that he would have helped. You know, we've got to go out there, 10 days left of the window, whatever it is, we've got to go out there and sign at least a forward, probably midfielder as well. Rumours of Shelvey maybe going to the sick, is what's came out in the last 24 hours. Eddie Howe kind of turned his nose up at those rumours because he's injured at the moment, and the lack of midfield options. We've barely got any centre mids, so I'd be surprised if we allowed Jonjo Shelvey to leave. But at the same time, if he wanted a new challenge, he knows he's not a starting player. If Besiktas are offering him a bigger wage, then you could see it happening. But apparently he's still a couple of weeks away from injury, coming back from injury, shall I say. So it could be one to watch, a late mover in the window if Newcastle can get more bodies, incomings. We need those incomings through the door for me, because it's games like this where, yes, brilliant to see Isaac Malaxi come off the bench, but still wasn't enough. You need that, maybe a Madison, maybe another type of winger, forward who's going to, I don't know. Isaac did well, to be fair. He made some good runs, won a corner out of nothing, but I just don't know what it was. It was just one of those days where you could keep playing now and would never score. We could still be playing until next Saturday and we would not score in that game. Chances over the bar, chances straight at the keeper. Frustrating for me, but listen, it's still a point. It's still a point away to a side in London, and we're still in the top 4, you know, so obviously don't want to be too negative. I just think, looking at Palace's team, the amount of chances we created, the amount of possession we had, it should have been a win. But it wasn't, and it's never that easy in the Premier League. So that'll do. That's my thoughts on the 0-0 draw at Selhurst Park. Make sure you drop your comments below, subscribe to my channel TV, and I'll see you on the next one.